Welcome back to WKNC 88.1 FM HD1. I'm Her Majesty, joined today by my lovely co-host,
Whippopatamus.
Eubanks.
for an episode of the Local Beat today during local lunch. Today we're here with Raleigh indie band, Earther. Earther, welcome back to KNC.
Yo.
How about y'all introduce yourselves?
Sure thing. So my name's Henry. I play guitar.
My name's Ken. I also play guitar.
Hey, I'm Joel. I sing and play bass.
And I'm Dan, and I play drums.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, I was actually listening back to an old episode of the Local Beat, and it said maybe we could have you guys back in here a year or two later. And it was in June of 2019.
Oh,
yes, look at that.
did it!
Full circle, baby.
You guys followed the schedule.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of insane.
Why weren't y'all back here sooner? Why weren't y'all back here in like maybe March or April of 2020?
Fantastic question. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. pretty big reason, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're very, very excited to be back, and just like clockwork.
Oh yeah.
I know y'all were voicing your concerns and complaints a little bit with the music scene during COVID, and I'm glad to see y'all are bouncing back from that.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it was certainly a pretty unknown time for a bit, but, you know, just kind of kept our heads down, you know, tried to play it safe, got back together, started practicing for the past few months, and
Oh yeah.
the wheels keep on turning.
Yep.
So, like, in that time frame, like 2 years ago, you guys were working on an album, and I saw that you guys released 2 new singles a bit ago, but what's the progress on the album?
Great question. So, you know, obviously with the past year, things kind of got turned upside down in a lot of ways. So we sort of kind of put the album on the back burner. We've got, you know, a fair amount of songs written on it. I think we're going to be working more on it early next year. But we did actually just get out of the studio recording a kind of like a middle of the road EP with a lot of those songs. So expect that probably sometime in October, I would say.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Are you guys recording stuff yourselves? I know the last project was recorded with Warrior Sound. How have you guys been doing that?
Yeah, so we did like recording with Warrior Sound so much last time we've gone back. Guy Al that works there is really great and really thorough and really just chill to work with. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So is it a studio?
It is, yeah. He has his own like full studio in Chapel Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he just built a new one.
Nice.
It's incredible.
Yeah?
It's the nicest studio I've ever recorded a record in. It's
Okay.
so nice.
What are your favorite parts?
Of the studio?
Yeah. Like what's the
Oh
stuff?
man, I mean, Al himself is like just an incredible part of the studio. Like just working with him is.
Does he produce with you guys?
Yeah. I mean,
Sweet.
So when we were there, he mostly just engineered the record, but every now and again he'll provide like some production advice. He'll be like,
Awesome.
"What about if we went this way with that instead?"
Oh.
And it's just great to have somebody who's got that ear,
Right.
but also somebody who creates an atmosphere where it like makes sense to do stuff like that.
You can lend a lot of his like production style
Yeah.
with this new record then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Thing helps us or keep us from making bad artistic decisions, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
What's the worst one that you guys would have made?
Man, that's
I try not to think about it.
Yeah.
I try to pretend that whatever we end up with was what we were gonna do the whole time.
Are there some like production shortfalls that he helps with though? You know what I mean? It's kind of a tough question, but
yeah. I mean, I definitely, I think,
mixing. Or...
yeah. I mean, sorry, just the wheels are turning a little bit here in the head.
No
I think-
softballs here.
I think the best part of working with him as far as like production shortfalls is that, you know, I feel like I have a very strong ethos of, you know, like we are for the most part a DIY band. You know, we you know are an independent band. You know, we do all of our own booking, management, etc. But in some instances, I feel like DIY, an important part of it is understanding what maybe you can't do the best, so going and like finding the people that can do it better than you, while still kind of trying to stay in that sort of DIY budget. And Al's perfect for that. He's an incredible producer. His mixing's great. Something that I think is really cool about him in particular is that he kind of cut his teeth on a lot of heavier records. Like he did a lot of like pretty big like metalcore and hardcore records throughout the 2000s.
Yep.
And I think that adds a very interesting layer to our recorded stuff. Like I think it comes out a lot heavier than it would,
Yeah.
especially if we had just done it ourselves.
Yeah. Shout out to Al for that, for sure. That's like the main thing, I think. Like Henry said, I mean, you have to find people who really excel at the things that you do not excel at, and like we can do our own pre-production at home, but doing recording that's going to be worth putting out, not something that we're capable of, but Al is. And like Henry said, he's recorded some legendary people, and even some that are like legendary to me. Shout out to Advent, North Carolina hardcore's finest.
Was that before or after the one album you guys have out on streaming?
That was before.
Oh, okay. So he's all over that one too.
Yeah, I think you guys recorded The House Always Wins with Al, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
yeah. Our first EP was recorded with him, and as long as we live in North Carolina, he's probably who we're gonna go to.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
Yeah, right?
Did you guys record any of your metalcore stuff with him previously?
Ooh, great question. I'm gonna throw this one to Dan because he's the other metal boy in the group.
Yeah, no, we never did. We had like a lot of plans to record a lot of songs that just kind of never panned out with that band. And also like I hadn't heard of Al until we started like booking with him, and so we just didn't know of him at the time. But trying to remember who.
We kind of jumped all over the place. Dan and I were in this metalcore band called Friends as Enemies together for about 5 years. I guess it was like 2012 through like 2017 or something like that. And we kind of hopped all over the place. That was definitely a band where we learned the hard way about a lot of different stuff. Yeah, it was kind of the cutting our teeth and learning how to like manage ourselves and whatnot. And part of that was recording. We kind of went through a lot of different folks. I won't get into too much detail, but there were definitely a lot of things that, looking back now, like we definitely should have pushed a little harder on, and just a matter of like getting mixes back and getting back some other stuff that just never happened with a couple of the people we went with. So, but it was fun for what it was. We had a good time. I think you can. If you give our stuff a listen, you can kind of tell that we used to be in a heavy band.
Right.
But I think it's kind of cool. It adds a little extra flavor.
It seems like y'all really learned through those experiences.
Definitely.
And have been able to take that to what you're doing today.
When you look back on it, does it seem like it's almost, for lack of a better word, like a throwaway project, so that you can sort of start fresh with this stuff now? You know what I mean? Or do you try to actively sort of promote that previous stuff and identify more with that previous stuff too?
When you say the previous stuff, do you mean like our Earthers earlier stuff, or like Friends as Enemies?
Friends as Enemies and stuff really before you started the Earthers project.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like the answer there is kind of somewhere in the middle. As far as like promotion, yeah, I mean we certainly, it's not something we talk about kind of on the Earther platform, I guess, because it's as far as I'm concerned, it's like kind of irrelevant in that scope. But I certainly wouldn't call it a throwaway. Like I said, we definitely, like I feel like I probably learned the most about how not to do things through our time as Friends as Enemies. And I mean that's especially in like the music business. Like I feel like those lessons are critical.
It's cool how you own everything, like all aspects of that project though.
Yeah,
for sure.
What kind of led y'all shift, you and Dan's shift away from the more metalcore to the current aesthetic for Earther?
I'm gonna throw that one to Dan.
I feel like there were a couple of reasons. I feel like one part of it was just that a lot of like friends of ours that would come to shows and stuff were not particularly the most into metal music
Mm.
and stuff like that, and we noticed that like immediately after our first Earther show, there was just like a major difference in like the amount of people that would come out that like
That's interesting.
that like we would mention a show to or whatever. It was also just we were kind of we had been playing like very similar shows for 5 years, so by the time that band kind of just we all kind of did our own thing, we didn't really have too much interest in going back to that, and I'll always be a metal drummer at heart. Like I feel like that's even still like that's mostly what my drum style is, but yeah, we were all kind of just ready for something like drastically different.
Yeah, it's hard to lose that base.
Yeah.
So you were talking about like the crowds that you were performing for, and I was curious, how has the scene in Raleigh evolved over time?
That's a very good question.
Towards your music at least.
I feel like people were very immediately welcoming to the stuff that we were putting out.
And
like,
when was that?
I feel like right after, like once we put out the EP,
Yeah.
it was really immediate. Like people who like I had never met before who knew like all of the words to one of our songs.
Oh
like,
man, that's
it was,
amazing.
Yeah, it was a great feeling.
What year was that?
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, building on that a little bit. Yeah, I got nothing but great stuff to say about the Raleigh music scene.
Yeah.
Particularly like the indie scene. I think it's very, I think it's a very strong sense of community. I feel like there's a lot of bands out there really grinding and like kind of perfecting their craft, and nobody's really out to like get each other.
Right.
I feel like there was a big probably like the early mid 2010s. It definitely especially kind of like when we were doing heavier stuff.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like a little bit more of like a competition. Like everybody's kind of like they felt like they had something to prove.
Okay,
And, like, were kind of pitting themselves against each other. But that's not the case here. I think people have really they've gotten the idea that the rising tide lifts all ships.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's out at each other's shows. We're always going to see our buddies play. Discovering new bands and going to see them play and just getting out there. And I think it's a very strong, really good community, and I'm excited to kind of see it come back.
You got some favorite venues to perform or attend to?
Oh yeah. We might as well kind of just like go down the list.
Oh, yeah.
We probably got a lot of crossover here, but I think my favorite place I've played as Earther is definitely Kings.
I've heard good things about them.
Yeah.
Kings is very cool.
Yeah, I hope I miss them so much, and I hope we get them back at some point. But yeah, definitely, that's probably the best place with Earther. And then I gotta just kind of do a low key flex for me and Dan. When we were in Friends and Enemies, we played the main room at Cat's Cradle, and that was probably the coolest thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Man,
Yeah, I was gonna
high
say
point.
Cat's Cradle is probably my favorite spot that we've played out at least.
That's
I
awesome.
think we just played the back room as Earther, but it was still like just the sound there is really nice, and like I don't know, every aspect of it seems very well put together.
I've not played any shows in the Raleigh area yet. I only moved here a few years ago.
Okay.
I joined Earther like almost 2 years ago now and have yet to play a show with them because I started learning the songs, and then there was a pandemic.
Yeah, I was going to ask more about that because
So,
I read about that.
But before the pandemic began, I was, going to North Carolina hardcore shows and stuff, and I was familiar with Cat's Cradle already. My brother went to UNC, so he was.
Oh, okay.
So I would go there if I had come to visit him. So I want to play Cat's Cradle. I want to play the main room at Cat's Cradle and put it out. have us there, please.
Oh, yeah.
Manifesting.
Only a matter of time.
506 is also like I just really like the vibe of 506. It's
506 was a good time.
I come from upstate New York hardcore.
Yeah.
That's like my kind of venue. So
All right.
I'm trying to play 506 also. So
Manifesting.
yes.
I hear that. Y'all are playing at the Poorhouse soon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When is that exactly?
Is August
24th.
24th. Yes,
Okay.
thank you. I was like, is it 23rd or 24th? I know it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So August 24th. It'll be our first show in 22 months.
Right.
Oh my God,
Right.
almost 2 full years.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna ask.
crazy.
I was gonna ask about that because I remember it was kind of last time y'all were in here. It was almost like a send-off episode, and you guys were ready to focus on the album, and so that was the last show since.
I think the last show we played because I think when because we had just I think it was just Dan and Joel were in here last time because I was in New York for the summer, but the last show we played was November 2019 at Slim's.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah. So
We were supposed to play a show March 14th, 2020.
Whoa.
And at leading up to it, the pandemic is ramping up and we're all just kind of like, maybe this show is not the best idea for us to play, but maybe we just play it and we go out with a bang right before the pandemic
Yeah.
shuts the world down.
Love
And no lie, it was the day
Oh my
before
God.
that show.
That is
The show got canceled and everything got shut down.
Yeah.
The day before.
We're talking about manifesting, right?
Yeah.
we had a couple rippers planned. We
really did.
We were
Oh,
playing with
man.
we were gonna play with Downhall, our homies from Richmond.
Oh,
Great band, yeah.
I know about Richmond.
Yeah, I love them. Downhall. And then we had another one. I think we were playing with Jail Socks the next month. So it was
Gosh, man.
it was gonna be tight.
Oh, man.
It was going to be a good summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Ken,
yeah.
how'd you get linked up with the rest of the band?
Yo, I moved to Raleigh. It's like sort of a convoluted story, but bottom line is my friend Allie introduced me to Henry because they worked together at the Morning Times, and just like Henry and I hit it off, started hanging out. I went to the Cover Up to see Earther do their national set, and we were hanging out eating food beforehand, and I mentioned to Henry that I wanted to get into the local scene and try to start a band, and he said, well, why don't you just come play guitar for my band? And I said, all right, works for me.
That's
So I went and I practiced with them a couple of times, and they were like, yeah, this seems like a good fit, and that was it. And we worked on writing a record, and here we are.
What made you so open to that?
Well, I feel like kind of the whole
He
core.
checked my vibes.
I checked I checked his vibes.
Very
the vibe,
important.
The vibe check came back and it was immaculate. But yeah, no, I feel like kind of the core thing, because Earther kind of started it was a very incidental founding. Dan, Joel, and I all lived together, and we were tight with Katie from Naked Naps, who was booking Slims at the time, and Dan and I had this other band. It was kind of this post-rocky jam little project. It was kind of something we just kind of did to let off some creative juices or whatever. And she would always hit us up with show offers. But we weren't ever able to do them because we had some flakiness throughout the band and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I just we were kind of tired of saying no to the show offers, and Joel was living with us, and we were just like, why don't we just write some songs and try to do one of these shows? And we've all been really tight for 10 plus years at this point. I've known Joel for 14 years. And Dan for about 10.
Gonna make me feel old, dude.
Yeah, our friendship is almost old enough to drive.
Oh, okay.
It is in some states.
But yeah, I feel like that's kind of the whole our whole thing was starting out it was just we're just buds playing music, and it's one of those things where the day it stops being fun is probably the day that we'll stop doing it. But that's always kind of been the core thing is we're friends first, we make music together,
Yeah.
we have a good time while we're doing it.
Yeah.
Such a great vibe. Yes.
And
Positive vibe check.
immaculate vibe check.
We pass every time.
Yeah, and then we kind of I think with as we got more into actually writing stuff and trying to explore different avenues of musicianship, we realized we're probably going to need more than one guitar player at some point. And so we were kind of hesitant about it because it's how are we going to meet this new person and get them in with a band that's already super tight, and there's always that for lack of a better term, the vibe check.
Yeah.
And so like Ken said, we clicked super hard, really good friends, and then he just had.
You guys were pals,
Yeah,
pretty
Henry's
recently.
been my day one homie since I moved here.
Oh yeah.
I met him very early on when I moved here, and I I've basically hung out with him every day since.
Yeah, it's true. That fits like perfectly in. You know, he's my friend who happens to also play guitar, happens to liked what we were doing.
Yep.
Could add his own spin on it. You know, also it's kind of funny. Comes from that heavy background, so
Yep.
you know we're just bringing the thunder, and
Yeah.
it's been great. It's been a heck of a ride having him on. So.
Yeah, I'm like very, very thankful to have met this group of dudes. They're really, really awesome. This is like my core friend group here since I moved, and it is fantastic. It's one of the most fun times I've had in a band ever, and I've been in a lot of bands.
What was that move like from, you said upstate New York down here? What part of New York exactly?
So I'm originally from Binghamton. Shout out 607 Hardcore. Shout out all my friends.
Yeah.
Shout out John Guzzi. Put your government on the internet.
So it's a cool scene out there too?
Yeah. My friend Colin books shows up there. He's in Syracuse now. But I didn't move from upstate down here. I actually got a job in San Diego, and I moved from upstate to San Diego, and then 9 months later moved from San Diego to Raleigh.
Yeah. That's very convenient.
Yeah, it's super convenient to drive across the country twice in 9 months.
Yeah.
It's very convenient.
Hey, I love road trips.
I mean, it was great. Like the first time I got to do it by myself. The second time my brother flew out and came back with me.
Yeah. That's
So
fun.
and I wanted to get to the Raleigh area anyway. My brother and his wife live in North Carolina, and my uncle lives here. My parents are gonna retire here,
Yeah.
so I was like,
You got roots.
as soon as this opportunity came up, I made my way here, and I mean, it worked out for the best in like every possible way.
Was there anything unique or different about this area that you weren't used to when you moved?
Not really, just because like I had been coming here since I was a kid.
Right.
Like my uncle has lived here for like 30 years,
Okay.
so we would spend summers or Christmas or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the biggest thing is just like the oppressive humidity.
Yeah.
Impressive is a great word for it.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Like it.
Thick.
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah, the thick air during the summer. It's like
Thick and oppressive.
something I just was not used to
It's a bad
because
bitch.
like it is not like that where I was at in New York.
I will
and-
always stand up for humidity. I love the way it feels.
Yeah?
like-
Wow.
that-
you are
you
a
are-
weird person.
It's a weird take. I
Yeah,
know.
That's
I've never heard that
That's a
before.
strange take, man.
Yeah,
But-
for real.
Dude, the first time you walk outside in February and it's like above 70% humidity, you're like, oh my
Yo,
god.
but
Wow.
that's different
so
than walking
good.
outside in August when it's 95
Yeah.
and 75% humidity.
It's different
I
than being
just-
suffocated from the
I
inside.
just
Right? I can't stand it.
I think you guys just aren't good at
From the
swimming.
inside.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I mean that was like really the only hefty change, but you get used to it fairly quick.
Yeah. All right. Just one more thing before we take a quick little break here. Tooth and Nail is a new song that you guys are putting out. Can you talk about that and which project it's going to be a part of?
Yeah, so we actually Tooth and Nail is actually, and the other song, or another song, Your Ghost, is actually one of two that we recorded back the first time when we recorded with Al at Warrior Sound. So we're actually we kind of released them a little bit ago, but we're gonna go ahead and fully release them with this new EP that's coming up in October.
Yeah, we're getting them remixed and remastered. But Tooth and Nail is actually a pretty fun story. That was a song Joel had written for a while. I think through school he'd done a lot of like just acoustic kind of self-recording singer-songwritery stuff. And so when we first got together and started writing, I think what we wrote was kind of equal parts Joel bringing some of those songs to the table, and we kind of like deconstructed them and rebuilt them to be like a full band situation.
Rebuilt them faster,
We
stronger.
can build them back stronger,
Yes,
better.
$6 million hit right there.
That's right. God, if only.
But yeah, and then these first two songs in particular, yeah, they've seen a fair amount of airtime. Like you mentioned, we released them last year exclusively on Bandcamp as kind of a way to help a lot of the venues that had just recently shut down, and they're trying to support the workers, because the live music industry is very, very important for bands and for just like an arts community in general, and a lot of those people are very near and dear to us. We've worked with a lot of them throughout the years, like the sound people, the booking people, the show managers and whatnot. So that was kind of our way to try to help out in the best way we could. But we are excited to remix, remaster, and re-release them as like kind of the front end of this new EP. But the back end is all new material, which we're also very excited about.
Awesome. Let's play it. I'm Her Majesty. You're listening to WKNC. The band is Earther.
Say goodbye to your wonderful ride. The stars they light will break their bones and rend their sides. We'll fight tooth and nail, fins and claws to right the wrongs, to save us all. We'll light the way and save the day, ignite the dark so we can fight again. A green cold you stare, charge and collide. You don't wanna believe in broken things. I don't wanna see my ghost chasing me. We'll fight tooth and nail, fins and claws to right the wrongs, to save us all. We'll light the way and save the day, ignite the dark so we can fight again. Do you believe in me, or are you haunting me? Do you believe in me, or are you chasing me? Do you believe in me, or are you haunting me? Do you believe in me?
Welcome back to WKNC 88.1 HD1 Raleigh. I'm Her Majesty. Today I'm joined by Earther and my lovely co-hosts.
Whippopatamus.
And Grant Eubanks.
We just listened to Tooth and Nail. That was released last year, and then will be re-released on the upcoming EP around October.
Yes, it will be.
Good song,
We're
guys.
super excited about it.
Thanks.
Really enjoyed hearing that.
Thank you.
Okay, so you guys, do you three, not Ken, all live together still?
No.
Okay.
No longer good riddance.
Wow.
Wow, that's some.
Henry and I live together though,
Yeah.
so.
Don't forget who you drove with.
I know.
We're gonna use this for clickbait later.
There's literal salt in the air.
Yeah.
Earth are breaking up.
That
Drive you
is
home, Joel.
that is kind of where I was going with that. Where I
You heard
was
it here
like,
first.
you guys kind of live like brothers. Do you guys fight like brothers too? Like, how do
Right.
you guys like kind of resolve? Do you guys have disputes in the band ever, or just creative differences, or how do those go with being so close?
Always comes
You
down
guys
to
just
this.
fight it out.
Oh yeah. we take it to the magic deck. We got a little
Oh,
magic
true.
gathering.
Yeah.
We duke it out that way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Except
As any Magic fan knows, there can be only one.
So, do you guys have a favorite fast food parking lot?
Ooh.
Ooh.
What?
That's an interesting question.
Related.
Maybe Cookout's my gut response.
I was,
Alright.
I was
Wait, are we
wearing a
talking about,
Cookout
like-
shirt like just before I came in here. I'm so disappointed that I don't have that on right now.
Are we talking about like favorite fast food parking lot just to like hang out in after a show, or are we talking about like favorite fast food to eat? Like there's a lot of
Individual
side
fast food
questions that go
parking
along
lot.
with this here.
I want you to interpret that question any way you want.
Just
Okay.
leaving you out there.
All right. Yeah, I'm with Cookout.
Yeah.
Cookout's definitely the rowdiest.
Does
Yeah,
Sheets
Cookout
count?
is fun.
The
Yeah.
sheets
Yeah, Sheets
absolutely
definitely.
count.
All right, I'm going with Sheets then, because
Mm.
got the bonus of being a parking lot and also being a place I can get gas.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm the I got that logic,
That's a good one.
practicality.
There you go.
That's
the WKNC does not endorse facts or logic.
Specifically logic.
Facts don't matter.
Facts don't matter.
Neither does Earther. It's okay.
Whoa,
Wow.
we're gonna have a creative dispute after.
Yeah.
Sure
It's
are.
gonna be a big creative.
I'll see you at the Sheets parking lot, Joel.
Oh, yeah.
WKNC does endorse Earther. So in a lot of y'all's like social media, it says you guys are just four sad boys from Raleigh.
Yeah.
Or I guess you're not from Raleigh, Ken, but
That's
I
I mean, I am now.
you are in Raleigh, yes. Was there anything in particular that happened, or like are you guys just
Why are
sad?
you guys so sad?
I mean, have you lived life? Like, it's-
Yeah, man.
we could wax poetic about that for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, have your show canceled, your big show the day before you were supposed to
Yeah.
go on, I'd be pretty sad too.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
That is pretty
That's why
sad.
I'm
Yeah, but Earther was over a year or two old at that point. So I was just curious if there was anything big, or if that was just kind of the way you like to express things, especially.
I think so. I think it's more of just trying to convey that we're an emo band and we
Yeah.
like emo music and being just expressing our feelings through our.
Is it a good emotional outlet?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Consistently for the
Uh,
past couple years.
I mean, not to like make it this like big thing, but like in my experience, like playing music, playing shows, being with the people who I enjoy to be with through playing music and playing shows is like the only outlet.
I completely agree.
Have you
No,
guys ever
no, I get
cried
that.
listening to one of your own songs or playing one of your own songs?
Crying.
I
Oh,
I
wow.
have not an Earther song, but one of my old band songs. I'm not above saying that.
Hell yeah.
Is it
Just shredding, tears streaming down.
Yeah, man. It was our final show.
shredding
so it was
tears?
Yeah.
Just say shredding
Yeah,
tears.
that's your next song title.
Teardrops on my guitar.
That's right.
Oh, that's a good song title. It's a
I
good
think so
original.
too. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Yeah, maybe not.
I mean, if y'all could cover that, I would love that.
It's a good
I
one.
would
Taylor Swift cover
unironically
album.
I would unironically love that, but I feel like there's a pretty insurmountable hurdle regarding the rhythm section of our band.
Nah.
Probably couldn't get away with that. I've dragged him through we made him do a Jimmy Eat World cover set a few years ago, and I think that was since then I haven't really been able to muster up and ask them to do anything else. But back to your question about sadness and an outlet with creativity. I think speaking for myself maybe. I don't know. I get the most motivation to like write and create when I'm sad. Like when
Yeah.
when I'm
I feel
when I'm
that.
going through a breakup or life's getting me down a bit. I wish it weren't that way sometimes, but I do
Right.
feel like that's like one of the most powerful creative catalysts
Yeah.
for myself and like
Need for
For us.
catharsis. Yeah.
Mhm.
absolutely. And yeah, I would not be surprised if I shed a tear or two at the show Tuesday, just because
It's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I bet. Oh.
Yeah, we definitely we got a couple rough mixes of our new stuff back, and I think we all got a little emotional kind of hearing it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's been so long since we've recorded anything.
That's
you know.
exciting.
Oh
It
yeah.
is.
Wait, how long has it been exactly?
So it's been 3+ years, because
Wow.
we recorded in the beginning of 2018,
Yeah.
and then just different things popped up. I was in school. I was away in New York for the summer.
You were here, right? At the
Yeah,
station?
I was at an undisclosed role here at WKNC. So it was just a busy time, hectic time, and then we lost a year, but I think now that we're kind of getting the wheels turning again. It's really exciting, and we're not gonna let that big of a time gap happen again. So pretty excited.
Yeah, right.
Nice. So what was Earther doing during COVID? How was everybody
Working.
keeping up?
We were
Yeah.
practicing. We were working.
On that grind?
We were
Grind
honing
set?
our craft.
Yeah.
We were. I mean, that's what we were doing. I mean,
Yeah.
we were like, when the pandemic was at its worst, we were getting together like once a month to practice. And as the numbers went down and we were able to get vaccinated and it was safer for us to practice, we went back to a weekly practice schedule. And we didn't let off the gas whatsoever through the
Yeah.
pandemic, because we knew that other bands may let off the gas, but like that was a prime opportunity. You have all of this time to work on your craft that is going to be completely uninterrupted because the world is shut down. So like, why not take advantage of that?
Oh, completely. I understand that, and I think there's a lot of artists now that have that sort of shiny little pearl that they've been working on, polishing, and they're ready to show everybody. I'm
Yeah.
super excited to hear that stuff,
Yeah, me too.
especially
I mean,
live.
I'm excited to play our stuff live. I'm excited to show it to everybody, and like, I know that for me, it's been a pleasure to see what people were releasing through the pandemic. Like, the folks who were still grinding it out and putting together albums or putting together content. That content, I feel like, was prime. It was better than most.
But I feel like since y'all didn't put stuff out, during the pandemic, it was sort of in service of after, right?
Yeah.
Sort of building for after. I totally understand that,
Yeah.
but that's just gonna be amazing. I don't have anything beyond just pure hype for that thing.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited too, and thank you for the kind words.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, there was a lot of Ken and I would shoot little iPhone voice memos
Yep.
back and forth with little diddlies and guitar parts and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And that was, I think at its worst, that's we were doing a lot of like remote writing like that. But it has felt really good to, to start getting back together and just have like that routine,
Yeah.
and really hammer it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so excited to hear just like all the energy unleashed
Yeah,
on
there sure is a lot.
on Tuesday, on the 24th. That'll be insane.
Yeah.
So you guys have gotten some rotation at KNC for a little bit now. And I'm not sure about other places, but how is it hearing yourselves on the radio for the first time?
I don't know. I don't like hearing myself recorded or seeing patient, just perceiving myself at all. But I don't know. The opportunity and just the fact that you guys like us enough to come back multiple times is great.
Your tattoo is so sick, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Can you describe that for the listening
Yeah,
audience?
so on my shoulder I have a little oval with a rabbit that's also an astronaut.
Yeah.
One of my friends, Olivia, drew this, or like for an
Nice.
like my old singer-songwriter
Yeah.
like project, and I got the bun on my body.
Any inspiration behind it?
I just like the idea of
Yeah.
animals
The art.
wearing spacesuits.
Yeah.
As the kids say,
that's
it's
the
sending
future.
me.
Oh yeah.
You're ahead of time, man.
So why don't you tell them about the lyrics for Wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff from our first EP is based off of weird dreams that I had that I wrote down and stuff. So a lot of it's just very like abstract things.
Yeah.
So I think one was about like being in a space shuttle and
Yeah.
somebody smuggled a tiger on board.
Yes.
That's a lot of my humor is just very like the Far Side.
I love
I've
that.
been listening to that
Okay.
stuff, trying to find a deeper meaning.
It's there somewhere. It's just buried
Yeah.
under
In your
a
subconscious somewhere.
layer.
That's
Yeah,
for us
yeah,
to
yeah.
find.
Brent's gonna break his brain trying to figure it out.
Doing everybody else, man.
That's right, yeah. Like going back to the kind of expressing like negative emotions and stuff, I feel like songwriting is a very good tool for me to like try to process like abstract feelings.
Of course,
and thoughts that I
of
have.
course. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Are there any more dream sequences that are going to be on any of the upcoming projects?
Oh.
There are. I'll have to rack my brain for a second.
Yeah, right.
What's
So,
the percentage of these songs that are dream inspired too?
probably like.
Does Henry have to do any writing?
Oh, Henry. Yeah. So like a lot of the.
Boy, does he.
Boy, does he. I'd say maybe like 50-ish% of the
Wow.
songs are like dream inspired or
Nice.
influenced
Wow.
in some
Wow,
kind of way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's cool because I don't have to like write very specific things. I can kind of put some things together that feel and sound good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the lyricism that I like. Like, think about like rappers who rap like that in like a more
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily like nonsensical style, but like rappers like MF Doom,
Yeah.
rest in peace,
Mhm.
who rap just kind of like weird. You know,
Yeah, different.
their wordplay is different. It doesn't make 100% sense, but you can pull stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Metaphors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff
all
like
the
that.
all the
That's-
lines they're drawn aren't straight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
it's great.
I love that. I never heard it put in that perspective before, but I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's like the kind of lyricism I enjoy for sure. So
Yeah.
that's why I was drawn to Earther like in that regard as well. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're talking about the same, or I'm thinking of the same thing that you're talking about, but like I like lyrics that are a lot like a Rorschach test, sort of those ink blot
Yeah.
tests, you know.
yeah.
You just
Yeah.
sort of get out of it what you see.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
that's the
that's-
worth of
yeah.
it, you know.
That's what
Yeah.
I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of songwriting over the pandemic, and that's a huge.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've
Nice.
kind of looked.
I've done a lot of
that, but
Rorschach tests.
Done a lot.
It's an
You just
interesting
stuck that
hobby to
landing
pick up.
on.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was well done. We need like an applause button.
But yeah,
They-
I would
I've
high five
been-
you if you were
I've been
closer.
trying to get a horn,
Oh man.
Like an air
a
horn?
good little clown horn.
Oh no!
Every time someone does it good.
It makes a good
does
goof.
it, does it good.
Yo.
I'm glad to see somebody's keeping that fight alive. Yeah.
The clown horn fight.
Oh yeah. The clown horn fight. The air horn and the trap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the air horn is very important.
Yeah, that's a dream right there. But going back, lyrics as a Rorschach test is a great way to put it too. And I feel like that's just, the nature of art is like it's subjective, you know. Like we're putting this thing together. It's kind of like a snapshot of what we're going through and like who we are at that certain time, and then it's out there, and it's you listen to it and you get whatever meaning that you derive out of it. And that's the thing. Like it's just like this communal
Yeah.
shared thing that everybody gets something
Like-
different out of.
Are you entirely sure what it means yourself? You know,
No.
for a lot. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Especially the
that's part.
tiger on the space shuttle.
I guess
that's
when
gonna
it's
mean-
half dreams.
Yeah.
That's gonna mean something different entirely to me than it does to Joel.
Have you guys looked up any of those things that are like trying to interpret your dreams?
No.
Oh, they're
Maybe I
wild.
should though.
You should.
I'd be very
What is
curious to know what that.
I don't
what
know.
that
Like,
is.
there are
dream,
like
yeah.
books about it, and like it'll be like, oh, like if this or whatever happened, like it'll tell you what it's supposed to mean or
Oh
something.
my god, yeah, 'cause I have
Or it's
wild
like,
dreams
ooh,
too.
There's like
Really?
one person's interpretation of it.
I used to have a lot of dreams about my teeth falling out. Apparently, that's
That's
like a self-image issue thing
Oh,
apparently.
yeah.
But my dreams were always that my teeth would be falling out and I'd be saving them and putting them in my pocket. And that specifically is apparently that your self-image is bad, but you're working on it. So
You're keeping it. We should
your
like,
subconscious is like, we get it, man. It's hard, but like, look, you're doing a good job.
We get it and put them in your pocket.
That's right.
absolutely.
These are for later.
That's right. You'll put these back in when you need them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys are just getting back into shows. Do you guys have any more shows or plans kind of tours planned in your future?
Tour wise, we're still kind of holding off. I think we want to get to a place where, number one, the world is in a little bit of a safer spot. We want when we do it, we want to be like full force, like, doing it with as much energy as we possibly can. And I feel like that's just impossible right now for a band that, like, at our level, like where we're at. Like, I don't wanna like, risk anything or put us out like that. So we're kind of, that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is I think we want to, we're trying to divert a lot of energy into like finishing this album, this LP, and I think that's going to be coming out, sometime towards the mid-late next year probably. Not to put like a definite timeline on it because we still gotta.
You said it on air, right?
Now
we're
You've
beholden.
done it.
Yeah.
I guess so. Well,
You're
mid to late
beholden,
next
yeah.
year, I guess. But that's probably the earliest timetable I can see for us going on like a tour.
Yeah.
As far as playing locally, yeah, we've got a few lined up coming up throughout the end of the year. Obviously, we've got this show the 24th. I think next month. We're doing a hopscotch day party at School Kids Records, which is going to be
Let's
super cool.
go.
Oh, in
That-
Carborough?
No, the one in Raleigh.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I guess honorable mention when you asked us earlier about some of our favorite shows. We did a set at School Kids once, and it was one of the tightest, coolest, most fun
There you
shows we've ever played.
It seems like they're Raleigh's version of Gravity Records in Wilmington. Just a quick shout out to them. They're one of the best places in Wilmington. That's where I'm from. But like,
Oh.
was it sort of a more intimate, sort of smaller vibe then?
It was
That makes sense.
it was super intimate. It was packed to the brim, and like at our core, like I feel like regardless of where we go, there's always gonna be something to be said for doing just a killer floor show or a house show. That energy is just like irreplaceable. When we lived together, we actually we ran a little bit of like a house venue out of there,
Ooh, nice.
and we did a lot of insane shows down there.
That
And
sounds so cool.
Yeah, that energy is just like,
Mhm.
and especially
Unmatched.
it is. It's
Yeah.
unmatched. And I feel like especially like as some smaller venues haven't quite opened back up yet, I feel like there's going to be a big push towards more house shows
Yep.
in the coming
Oh,
years.
yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
can't wait.
So we actually speaking of, we were doing a house show at the end of September. I think it's going to be the 25th with I think it's Through the Tall Woods, some dear friends of
nice.
ours.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure who else is on the bill. Austin from Tallwoods hit me up about it about a week or two ago.
Okay.
So very excited about that. And then we've got another show. I think the end of October we're going to be doing at the Night Rider that has been unannounced. But it's going to be a Halloween party.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Was it Lunchbox Hero and Condado? And so we're going to be doing some split cover sets and originals. I'm gonna keep the cover sets under wraps, but it's gonna be a blast.
I hope Teardrops on My Guitar is on there.
I hope so too,
Me
man.
too.
Y'all dressing up?
Oh yeah,
What y'all coming
that's
as?
a great.
we're
I
doing
love
a,
Halloween.
we're doing a Seinfeld group costume.
Oh no, for real?
Everybody
Y'all know
has-
about this?
Oh,
We've talked about it.
This is
Wait,
the thing.
so
I'm
so
remembering.
Yeah, who's who?
so assuming I'm thinking of the right Seinfeld group costume, so Kramer has 4 limbs. Which limb are you guys of Kramer's?
Oh my god.
Left.
Whoa. Okay, no, Joel, you answer last. Joel. I'm gonna get right arm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right arm.
For the
Can we get a
Earther
reason?
Kramer Voltron.
God, that was
Kramer Voltron.
that was not at all we were doing. Now it is though.
Great album.
It's definitely what we're doing.
Oh, brilliant.
I guess you said which one?
I'm right arm.
Oh, your right arm? I'll take left arm.
All right.
I'll take left leg.
I'm the Exodia head.
Okay.
Head? You got the head? Wait, so just one-legged Kramer.
Don't do it. He's one-legged Kramer.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
I'm here for
I
it.
wanted more attack points, right?
All right.
Yeah, that's
More attack points.
yeah. I mean, your options are either Voltron Kramer or Exodia. So
Yeah.
I don't know if any of
Either
us
go
have
with
the
that.
muscle mass to be Exodia.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's
You
fine.
kind of need a head too. You can
That's
lose that
true.
leg.
So you guys, you're saying you're gonna keep the cover under wraps, but who's
yeah.
playing Monster Mash?
Who's playing Monster Mash? That's a good
bartender.
question. I think you are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Monster
Okay.
Mash.
You better be ready.
I do a mean Monster Mash.
1-man band set right before ours.
I actually, I don't, I present myself as a one-man man, but I only own a harmonica.
Monster Mash harmonica version. I'm here
Yes.
for it.
So you were saying that you learned a lot in your other band, and you guys went on a big tour a little bit, like a few years ago. You guys hit New York, a few other places up and down the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
So what did you guys like learn on that tour, and like what were kind of the highlights and like most fun parts of that?
Ooh. I'm gonna start with the thing I learned on the last tour we went on, which is getting the flu on tour is like the absolute worst thing that could ever
that.
happen to you. Yeah, that
Why?
happened.
Like what makes it the worst?
Because we slum it when we're on tour. You know,
Yeah.
we're on that like parking in a truck stop and sleeping in the van kind of thing.
The Sheets parking lot.
The
Yeah.
Sheets parking lot. Yeah. Or when you're
See, I like parking lots.
Yeah, we got a. If you'd ask what our favorite truck stop parking lot is, I got a laundry list. Yeah, we got a ton. TA, Loves, like shout out.
Loves is fine for
Yeah.
sure.
Shout out to
Loves,
Loves,
shout out
yes.
Loves.
Yeah, Loves is good. Also, while we're at it, we haven't been to Texas, but Buc-ee's, baby.
Yo, yeah,
Buc-ee's-
shout out to Buc-ee's.
Word.
Yeah, Buc-ee's is incredible if you ever get a chance.
Okay.
Best parking lot to sleep in ever.
yeah.
So yeah, it's not necessarily for the faint of heart, and or for those that have the flu.
You all got it?
No.
Okay.
Somehow, no. Yeah, it was just Henry.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was great.
But y'all were stuck together though. Y'all survived it. That's cool.
We made him right in the back.
Yeah, social.
Quarantine before it was cool.
Yeah, social distancing before it was cool.
Over
Um,
there,
but yeah,
Do you think if
that
it
it
happened
works.
now, you'd make him wear a mask?
I would. You wouldn't have to make me.
Oh yeah, I guess that's gonna change now, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm all about it. If you're feeling yucky, like I'm throwing a mask on for sure.
Yeah, man. Masks are the best.
Yeah, they're a thing now.
Yeah, it's
Plus-
like an extra accessory.
Yeah.
plus-
Yeah.
Joel and I, we, don't necessarily like to be perceived. So,
Yeah.
masks
Entirely
At
fair.
all.
really helpful.
Like-
Really, really helpful.
Zero perception.
Yeah,
You're going to fail that perception check every time.
but
But not the vibe check.
not
Never,
the vibe check.
never.
No. But I think one of the most fun parts of that tour. So we did that with this band. They were called Glow at the time, but now they're called Water Culture.
Nice.
And they're great. They were a joy to be around. So we did it with them, and then we actually also linked up with this band from Jersey called Heaven's Sake that did a couple of different dates with us. And I remember we played this. I think it was a VFW hall in Hamilton, New Jersey, which was a ton of fun. Cool spot. But we got burned a little bit on the payout. I think we got maybe like $20, but
Ooh.
somebody, but one of the which is that's fine. It happens.
Yeah.
It was money in the gas tank. It was cool. But one of the
$20 in the gas tank.
yeah, it was,
Oh.
yeah. But one of the I can't remember if it was one of the bands or if it was the sound guy that had a band, but they had all these fidget spinners, and they weren't just any regular fidget spinners. They were light up fidget spinners that were also Bluetooth speakers, and they gave us like 30 of them on top of the payout. It was incredible. It
So
was
you guys got $20 and like 30 light up Bluetooth speaker fidget spinners.
Absolutely.
That
There's
was
still a
the
few of them
the
floating around
combined
our van.
payout.
Y'all sell some of those on eBay or something?
No, those are all for personal use, baby.
That's right.
It's the crowd.
Where are they now?
Pretty much. They all broke really fast.
Wait, you
One?
broke them all?
Yeah.
All
We
30?
broke or lost pretty much all of them.
I'll never forget, like, right after that show, everyone from all the bands was just kind of hanging out in the parking lot. And, like, it was just, like, there were, like, 15, 20 people who were just, like, playing with fidget spinners and, like, trying to play music, and then, like, the music would stop and the whole thing would just break, and they'd be like, oh, and then they'd just throw it away and get it.
Sorry, what songs were popping up? You know,
Oh,
when these people
yeah.
were playing it, was it like Evanescence or like?
That's a very good question. I can't say I remember.
There was a lot of Warped Tour stuff. There was
Oh,
a lot of, there was,
man.
I very distinctly remember an Escape the Fate song came on.
These fidget
Um,
spinners from hell just like
absolutely.
playing this low quality Warp Tour.
It was great, yeah. I did a nice little Celine Dion coming through on the fidget spinner.
Good
It was
choice,
great.
good
Yeah, my
choice.
heart will go on.
That's a
Love-
classy choice.
Yeah, love theme from Titanic, baby.
We love it.
Absolutely.
Penny whistle cover or straight up?
Do what?
Penny whistle cover or straight up?
Oh, there's a penny whistle.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
there
yes,
is.
there
Oh
is.
man, that's like god tier meme stuff. I can't believe you haven't seen that.
No, not at all.
That and the the recorder cover of the Fox, the 21st Century Fox logo.
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh
It's
my
like a-
god, dude!
Imagine
As soon as we're
that.
done here, I'll show them to you. They're
Cool.
All right. On that note, we're going to take another quick break. This up next is going to be Wanted off of their 2018 EP, The House Always Wins. Van's Earther. I'm Her Majesty.
Whippopatamus.
And I'm Grant Eubanks.
You are taking out my heart and lungs and replacing them with lizards and aardvarks. I don't remember signing up for this. Have I gotten nowhere yet? Have I gotten nowhere yet? Look back, see you worked so hard for a better, brighter life. Saying, oh my God, this is all I've ever wanted. Have I gotten nowhere yet? You are face down in the ceiling, hiding from a tiger. You keep asking, they have joined hands with open words, bruised from a wooden blade. They keep us silent most of the day. Look back and see you worked so hard for a better and brighter end. Saying, oh my God, this is all I've ever wanted. Have I gotten nowhere yet? Until I pass out, you turn to dust. We don't want what they want. Don't let them onto us. But when I wake up, you turn to dust. We don't want what they want. Don't let them onto us. Have I gotten nowhere yet?
Welcome back to WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh. I'm Her Majesty. Welcome back to the local beat during local lunch with Earther, and
Whippopatamus.
And Grant Eubanks.
thank you guys for still being here. That was Wanted. So I just have a few short questions. I read through some of y'all's Twitters, and I just had I was intrigued, frankly.
That's
a good way to
putting,
put
that's
it.
putting it nicely for sure.
So the first thing I want to bring up, which honestly, frankly, offended me. Ken is not going to be allowed to comment on this because he probably has a bad take. Joel,
Wow.
Joel, why do you drink unsweetened tea?
Oh, yeah.
I just
do
like-
too.
So I just like my
Pass.
dirt water, and that's all you need to know. The real reason is mostly just like growing up as a teenager. We we went to Apex High School in North Carolina.
Mhm.
We it's right next to like Taco Bell and Bojangles.
Mhm.
A lot of sweet tea. Eventually realized it made me break out like
Yeah.
the oily teenager I was. So
Mhm.
I tried to cut that out. Helped a bit. But now I just like dirt water, and it's more for me. And don't worry about it.
Yeah. That's what you call it.
Yeah.
That's the only correct
I love
tea.
Like
it.
I'll drink like black coffee and
Yeah,
like,
same.
just whatever.
Yeah, I don't like sugar. I
Yeah,
feel you.
Joel's somewhat of a pioneer as far as like culinary food choices. I will say there was one time he came out on top. We went to White Castle on tour, and we roasted him so hard because he got like breakfast things on the White Castle
At
menu.
White
What?
Castle?
White Castle.
I got the breakfast sliders.
And he got
What?
like breakfast sliders
I'm
or
a fan of breakfast all day.
White Castle has all-day breakfast?
I think
That's
so.
wild.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
They did.
that's
That's
I didn't know they had a breakfast menu.
We
Where
are
is
not
White Castle?
sponsored by
I've only
White
ever gone to
Castle,
Rat
by
Burgers
the
at
way.
breakfast.
yeah.
This
But,
is not an endorsement.
No. The second half is
Far
that he was
from
the
it.
only one that enjoyed his meal in any way. Like
Yeah.
Dan and I were having a rough time.
Yeah, I mean, I
Too
was,
bad.
like, being super poor on tour, like, you kind of value every meal quite
Yeah.
a bit. But, like, I didn't have much money to spend. I spent it on White Castle, and I remember just, like, looking at it and just being like,
I will never financially recover from this.
That was when you had the flu, too.
Yeah, that
Oh,
yeah, on top of the flu.
You're losing so many valuable calories on the flu, too.
Yeah. It was
You
rough.
you were like
Tricky.
on the up and up, like you were starting to feel a
It was on
little
the
better,
mend.
and then you just
White
took a
Castle.
nosedive.
Oh, yeah.
White Castle's not a smart choice if you're on the mend.
I've never said I make smart choices. I've never stood by that. All right, hit us with some more. We
So
got-
Joel, what's your favorite soil type?
Soil type.
'Cause I like dirt water.
Let's see. What is it? Can I say clay since it's a North Carolina
No.
thing? I don't know.
You're not allowed to say clay.
I guess I'll plead the fifth on that. Whatever kind is an unsweet tea.
Loam.
Loam.
I love a good loam.
Oh yeah.
Pete.
I was gonna say
That's a moss.
That's okay.
So, do you guys all wear diapers?
No, actually, it's just Ken these days.
Yep.
And he's the
I'm the oldest member of the band. I have to wear diapers.
Okay.
he's the last free ranger over here with his
What did we say that prompted
Yeah, I'm
this?
very curious what tweet that was.
There was actually two.
Oh, wow.
There was one asking for funds for the Earther diaper fund, if I recall correctly.
Was this when you had the flu, or?
No, this was well before. This was a completely separate thing.
So completely not sick, healthy diaper fund.
Healthy, physically healthy.
And there was another one.
Physically
But
healthy.
mentally.
Yeah,
Mentally
mentally,
And,
not
and there was
quite
another
there.
one that said diapers are a lifestyle.
They are. They are absolutely lifestyle.
and there was
Who's
just a point
responsible
where,
for these?
Henry, Joel, and I, we just got together and we just said, guys, we gotta move on. It's time to stop.
You gotta diaper up.
And we're all 20, 26-year-old men.
Yeah, we upgraded to Huggies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pull-ups.
Oh, like and then like Lightning McQueen will show up on it.
That might be it.
This is the part Ken's about to quit the band on air because he's like, wait, this is what they tweet about?
Yeah, I'm not on social media at all, so I have no idea what they post. So
The band
they could
falls
literally be
apart.
telling the world like lies about me on the internet. Apparently they are.
I did say you were going to be wearing a really stupid shirt at the show.
Oh, that shirt's not stupid. That's a lie. I know exactly what shirt I'm wearing at the show.
Is it that shirt?
It's not this one. This shirt is really funny though, is it not?
What is this?
This is a shirt from a band
Oh,
called
wow.
Nothing, and on the front of it, it has an egg with a bunch of sperm going into it, and it says "Rarest Plague."
That is tough.
That's spicy. All right, what else you got? You got the diapers, you got the tea.
What was the best Burger King promo in the 90s?
Ooh, that's gotta be that's a Dan tweet, I think.
I'd say I don't know if it was Burger King or not. The Pokemon balls.
Oh.
That was McDonald's, I think.
No,
Was that
that was
McDonald's?
100% Burger King.
Was it?
With the gold
Oh,
trading
yeah,
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the gold what?
The gold trading cards.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
That's
Those
money.
are so dope.
gold like plastic Mew card, and it was like you felt so cool when you got it, but then like literally everybody had it.
Yeah.
Like everyone's house you went to, they had that golden Mew.
Bro, those things were like straight up gold plated.
Yeah, they were.
Insane. Like you got that out of a Happy Meal or
Yeah.
whatever the Burger King.
And they were legitimately like 18 karat gold plated bars.
Yeah, there
You
were.
still have it?
They just gave those to children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I still had.
Look
that
up the
one.
value on that now.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that my parents still have
Talking
the
about
ones that I got.
you talking about cryptocurrency? No, we got
Pokemon
gold plated
cards.
Pokemon cards.
Pokemon.
Joel?
Yeah.
That's a thing. Apparently, you can, or like first edition Pokemon cards, or some of them are worth a lot.
Yeah,
You can like
they really-
co-own them on sites or whatever. You
That
can buy
sounds-
like
Yeah.
a tenth of a first edition Blastoise
What?
or something.
A 10?
Or you can buy like fractions of it or something.
Like
That is-
cryptos.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild.
That is wild.
When are we gonna get
That's insane.
cryptocurrency form of Beanie Babies? You know, like
Like Beanie Baby
Real simple,
NFTs.
They're gonna come back.
Beanie
any
Baby
day now.
NFTs. That's just crazy enough for this reality.
Yeah,
Well, I mean-
I'm ahead of my time,
yeah,
but
bro, don't tell people your secrets.
Yeah.
And he's out here. He's out
You
here
would have
living
to shoot
30,
me.
21.
you would have to shoot.
Straight up.
All right. Next question. What is everybody's favorite crayon color?
Purple.
Say,
Deafening silence.
say green.
Purple.
I
I'm
can't
gonna
think of
go.
anything creative.
I'm gonna go burnt sienna.
Okay.
It's a solid,
Ooh.
solid shade of brown.
Yeah, that is a good solid shade. We'll go with peach.
Okay.
Wonderful. I'm gonna throw my hat in for mac and cheese. Everyone
Okay.
likes a good
Oh
mac and
yeah,
cheese.
the
Can they
nice
do
mac
that?
and cheese.
Oh, man.
Can they name them food?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
yeah.
People, don't they already have an issue with kids eating them?
It's
They
'cause they're
can name them
tasty.
whatever they want.
Y'all ever remember the crayon boxes that would have the sharpener in the back?
Yo, I want
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah.
so
We have one
bad.
in the station.
Yeah,
What?
we just did a thing where we named like 96 crayons in a box that had a sharpener.
Oh my god.
And some of these names are absolutely bananas. We were gonna do it, but someone forgot the crayon box.
They're locked in Jamie's office.
Oh,
She knew it was gonna
Jamie.
happen. She wouldn't let
She
it.
knew.
I can get in there, by the way.
Down the door.
I'm not gonna
It's
do
okay.
that though, for sake
okay.
of quality of interview.
Slam door, though.
Just use the little credit card trick.
Yeah.
All right, so what are some things that we haven't touched on that you guys want the listeners and viewers of KNC to know?
It's a great question. We'll start down the line. We'll start with Dan the man. If there's anything else.
It's very open-ended of you. I don't know. Let's see, we
passes.
talked about the show. We talked about Ken joining. We talked about new EP. I don't know. I'm really excited for the new songs that we've got on coming up on this EP.
What's different about those vibes, by the way? What's different in the vibes of the new songs versus the old new songs?
Ooh. That's
And the old songs.
Yeah, and the old songs too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we have not had a very standard linear timeline of writing stuff like at all. Like it's been equal parts stuff that's been kind of in the tubes for 2 or 3 years, like in our
The tubes.
rough draft drives, versus stuff that we just kind of like wrote on the spot. It's been cool having Ken in here because he definitely breathed a lot of fresh air into some of these like the older songs we had. The stuff that we have just recorded that has not been released yet is a great deal heavier than anything we have out currently, which is super cool. It's also a lot more like, I guess the best word I would use is probably like cinematic. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool like big spacey atmospheric, just hard hitting stuff.
A lot of layers.
Yeah, a lot of layers. We've fully dived in. We've done a lot of stuff with like synths and a little bit more of like kind of like soundscape sort of stuff.
That's my stuff. That's my.
And I gotta throw my hat out to Joel for he blew me away on the end of one of our on the last
Yeah.
song of our upcoming EP. He definitely delivered the vocal performance of a lifetime.
Yep.
Give that,
You're
give this man
talking
a
it up
Grammy.
so much.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Now it
It's
has
so
to be.
good.
Yeah. So I guess to
You do have to be good.
It's your job.
You've been officially perceived.
yeah.
I was hoping to get away without.
But
You know,
yeah.
another tiger
Sorry,
dream. I'm
Joel.
sorry.
But yeah. I guess to kind of to bring it down to a head, we're super excited to have been here, to take this time to speak with everybody. We're excited to be doing stuff again. We're excited that we're writing new stuff. And we are big time writing new stuff, which is super exciting. And yeah, if you are around, we will be playing next Tuesday, August 24th, at the Poorhouse with our friends in the Bronze Age and Do-Do-Do. It is going to be the best possible thing that one might be able to do on their Tuesday night. So that's all I got. Anybody else?
I just want to shout out a couple of bands. You're Super Very, a band from Syracuse, New York called Deal with God. Care?
Where,
stop
where
We
can
need the
they-
streams.
Where can
Oh,
they
yeah.
find Earther on social media?
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere except TikTok. We're working on TikTok.
Okay.
We're old. We're middle-aged millennials, so we're trying to get all that figured out.
We're
trying to figure out what
storyboarding
it
some
is.
ideas. Don't
You guys are
Yeah.
40 years old?
Yeah. No, I meant as far as like within the generational cohort, we're
Gotcha.
getting all that figured out. But besides that, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I think we're on SoundCloud, Spotify,
Mhm.
Apple Music.
Mhm.
Pretty much. I mean, anywhere that a band is to be found, really.
I'm gonna
And
bust
we're-
out that OnlyFans debut now that they're shifting away from that.
Yeah,
type
so
of
we're
content.
gonna be putting nothing. We got a lot of cats.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be just beautiful,
Yep.
immaculate pictures of our little four-legged furry angels.
Yeah.
If you are a cat person, Earther's the band for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's actually going to be on a website called Only Felines, not Only.
Oh, yeah.
Yo.
Big time.
Yes. That is money.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we can be found anywhere. Our handle, I think, across everything is just Earther Band. So yeah, I'm trying to think.
On
Anything-
Spotify.
I said Spotify.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
They've got a good Deezer presence.
Do it.
Good Deezer presence.
The Deezer.
Cricket's streaming service. Tim and Paula did a session with them, so.
I mean,
Is
yeah,
that like the cricket phones?
yeah,
I
baby.
think so.
What?
It's like on DistroKid or whatever aggregator.
Yeah.
They have an option to upload it to Deezer.
Does it cost any extra?
No.
Okay,
I
I
think
guess
they
we're
might
gonna go-
pay you to
we'll be
upload
on
to Deezer.
Man, DistroKid is funny because we got an account for them when we were gonna self-release our first EP, but then we had a label garner some interest and they put it out for us. So we created the account, paid for 1 year of it, and then I think I got a new credit card or something, and like the old one expired. And so I get emails from them like 3 times a week. They're like, all of your music will be deleted off of everything if you don't pay. And I'm like,
Cool.
I guess. I mean, it's as far as I know, it's still there.
DistroKid's gonna kill Earther. Okay.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Good
So,
PR for them.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I thought they were good. I thought they passed my vibe check, but if they're gonna kill you, that's gonna be a little sad.
It's on site with them.
Just
Oh.
a little.
On site
we can't be putting DistroKid beef out.
Nah,
in
just
TL.
kidding.
No,
Just
I
kidding.
do.
I won't put.
I will
say
pay.
it's on site on the timeline.
Yeah. That is good to know. We got Deezer, a new channel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
I think
I think so. Thanks for having us back.
Of
course.
course, it's always a pleasure. You guys can see Earther live August 24th at the Poorhouse in Raleigh with the Bronze Age and Do-Do-Do. I'm Her Majesty with my lovely co-hosts.
Whippopatamus.
and Grant Eubanks.
The band is Earther, and you're listening to WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh.